I got sued. How was that for a quick cut? Oh, what do we got for you today? Well, I've got a great story. I got sued, and I wanted to go over it from start to finish. We've got our word of the day, which is at the end of the video, and other than that, let's get to it today. I got sued. It happened last year, and it made me very miserable. But I wanted to go over it just so you could get some insight into my day and how things go or my business. And I don't know, put a comment below. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I was right. Let's go with it. So here we go. So I got sued, and we're going to go over the what, why, and the result. The what? Well, we listed a house for sale, and it wasn't any different than any other times we've listed a house for sale. This particular listing was out in the western part of South St. Louis County. Actually, not South St. Louis, it was western. I say South St. Louis County because I'm just so used to it. But anyway, we got an offer on the house on the first day for full asking price. The house was beautiful, and the price was right, so my sellers agreed to the offer. The inspection period in the contract was 10 days. So that meant that the buyers had 10 days to do whatever inspections they wanted to do on the home. At the end of the 10 days, they could either walk, they could negotiate repairs, or they could just move forward with the purchase. Okay. And now typically you're going to get, it kind of depends on the market, but typically you're going to get, they're going to come back with some repairs. And then it's just a question of like, what repairs are you willing to do? Are you willing to lose a buyer because of the repairs that you're not going to make? It just depends. But I would say this, in one of the hottest markets ever, it'd probably not be a good idea to come at me with a bunch of repairs. And in most contracts, what you're seeing right now is we would like to do inspections, but it's just for informational purposes only. It's not a condition of the sale of the house. So at the end of 10 days, okay, they submitted their report, and it was ridiculous. There was all kinds of stuff on there because they had gone with a huge real estate team, and as part of being part of the huge real estate team, you use all these inspectors and stuff, and then like say I have an inspector and he costs $400. Well, these inspectors are going to cost $1,000, maybe $1,200 because they need to use all that extra money to advertise to buy off all these agents. Now, that's just my opinion. I can't prove it, but I mean, I don't see why you're spending all this money on inspections. But anyway, they did. And as an example, they were excited about the fireplace. So if you've been in St. Louis any amount of time in real estate, I can pretty much go to every single house and get a fireplace inspection and have somebody come back and say the fireplace isn't up to code, or it's not right, or it needs to be fixed. There's always money in the fireplace. Okay. And then also the septic tank. So if you ever have a septic tank on your property in St. Louis, just expect for the septic tank not to be good. That's just the way it is. So now they've given us the inspection report. We have 10 days to negotiate. Okay. So in this 10 days, we said we'd fix a few things, but we knew that the septic tank had been installed only a year before. So we agreed to fix $1,000 worth of any issue they had and move on. Now, understand that the septic tank world in St. Louis is dicey. If you call 3 different septic tank people, they will come up with repairs ranging from $1,000 to $20,000 on the same unit. There's no consistency. And if you use your own septic person as a, like say an inspection comes through and they say there's something wrong with the septic tank. So you call your septic tank guy and say, hey, these people are saying there's something wrong with my septic tank. What do you say? And they say, click. Like they don't want to have anything to do with you. They just ditch you. And so in the middle of the summer, also on septic tanks, you're not going to get anybody to come out quick. Okay. It's like a 5-day waiting period just to get somebody out there. And if you're 10 days into it, you're not getting someone. So the inspection period was over. So while it was still over, the inspection period, the buyers kept calling septic people to look at the tank. Now, no one would because number one, they'd be trespassing on private property. Number two, there was no agreement on our end to keep doing the inspections. So what they ended up doing is calling a plumber who didn't even go look at the tank and just looked at some pictures and said it would cost $16,000 to fix. So the buyers came back at us with $17,000 in repairs. So they wanted the $1,000 for the septic and the fireplace, and then they wanted the $17,000 in repairs. And in this market, in this situation, knowing that the septic tank was literally like a year old, the seller said no. And as they didn't come to an agreement, the contract died. Okay, so we were out of contract. So I told the buyer's agent, I said, just submit a new contract because we're out of contract right now. We got nothing. We can't use this old one. So I asked the buyer's agent to submit a new offer without the inspection language, and we would move on. They didn't need the inspection language in the offer because they'd already had everything inspected. They knew everything they needed to know. So they submitted a new contract, and the inspection language is still in there. So we told the buyer's agent we're done. So there's no point. We're not going to agree to this. And they're free to get their escrow money back. That was a big part. So we send them the mutual release that day. Here you go. Here's the mutual release. Sign it. You can have your escrow money, and we're good to go. The buyers refused to sign. The buyers then ditched their agent. The buyers then personally look up my contact information on the internet. They tell me I'm unathletic. I am unathletic at 44. They tell me I'm unethical and that they will never use me to buy a house, which is totally fine because these people are crazy and I never want to be their agent. So I have a problem with that. I'm kind of glad. The buyers, I suspect, start shopping for a lawyer, but no lawyer will take their case because they're totally wrong. And so they go to small claims court. Now, this is during a time where it was difficult to get into the court. So they go to small claims court and they serve the papers. And you know how pathetic it is when each sentence starts off with whereas. So basically they took like a congressional proclamation and they just changed the words. And it's like, whereas you're a criminal and whereas you've done this. And it was so poorly done. I wish they would have looked online at least or watched a YouTube video that would tell them how to write something up, a complaint. The amount they were asking for was more than what the small claims would allow. So I don't even know how they got to file it. They wanted damages, pay for the inspections, and their escrow money back, which was stupid because they had the form the day the deal blew up. And I'm not in the practice of holding escrow money for somebody. If something doesn't go wrong, you fill out the mutual release and you move on. That's just the way we do it. I ended up hiring an attorney because these people were crazy. The last thing I needed is crazy in my life. So these people, like, it is so obvious that they're wrong. Okay, there's no one that thinks that they're right, and they aren't. But why should I spend every day worrying about these people? It doesn't. I have plenty of other things to do. So they go to court. The buyer has a 5-ring binder of information she's going to present the judge, and the judge is like, no, there's nothing here. In fact, you made it more difficult for the seller to sell their house, and they should be suing you. So that's how fast that went. So what did I learn? Well, number one, follow the contract. The dates, the signatures, and language are there for a reason. I'd known this before, but it was only reinforced with this situation. So as a broker, I have agents, and they don't do paperwork very well. And then I call myself the paperwork police, and I say, you have to have this signed, you have to have this initialed, you have to do this. Because if you're not working off of a contract, what are you really working off of? Okay? It doesn't make any sense. Once you start going outside of the bounds of the contract, that's when problems are going to start. And that's where you lose your ability to defend yourself in a lawsuit. Number two, people can do strange things when they're motivated. These people felt that they'd been wronged, and so they were going to do whatever they could to cause issues. It wasn't about the facts in this case. It was about these people were sad, and so they were going to come at somebody, and they decided to come at us. And number three, you aren't ever going to make everyone happy. These people were not going to be happy no matter what. They were doing something I've noticed lately with some of the affluent and aspire to be affluent. They claim victim status. This couple was about to buy an almost $400,000 house. They didn't get the house due to their own style of negotiation, and their first move was, feel sorry for me. It's like, I might be wealthy, but I'm ashamed of my wealth, so you must view me as the victim. And I've seen it more often lately than not. It's really gross. The other thing I learned was, this, like when you're in business, you're going to have things happen to you. You're never going to go, I'm not going to go through my brokerage never getting sued. I mean, like that right there stopped it. So, it's kind of deflating. My biggest thing is I like to work with buyers and sellers. I like to know them, and I like to do what's in their best interests, not just because of a contract, but because I feel like I'm obligated to do so. And these people, I always like to conduct fair and ethical dealings. And to be called unethical, when when their whole deal was, it was weird. It's like confession through, what is it? Confession through projection, or projection through confession. I don't know. I don't remember what it is. But anyway, it's like they were the ones being unethical, and they were the ones doing the things wrong, and yet they pinned it on me. It was very weird. So finally, I've got the word of the day. You ready? The word of the day is frivolous, and it means not having any serious purpose or value. And used in a sentence, I went with, oh goodness, my little Siri started talking. Anyway, oh God, good Lord. Okay. The court case brought against me was frivolous in nature. So, wow, we got a good day today. We got our Siri talking to us. Now I'll get it to do it again. We got the lawsuit out of the way. It's been bugging me for a year. And we got our word of the day, frivolous. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, why don't you go ahead and click the subscribe button. We're up to 34 subscribers. So, I mean, that's just amazing. But I thank all of you for listening. I thank all of you for watching. And I will catch you on the next one.